Welcome back to the S&T Football Podcast. This is your man Say. I'm here with my very good friend Tom, and we are talking about a exciting Big 12 showdown this weekend. We got the number 9 Texas Tech Red Raiders at home hosting the undefeated BYU Cougars coming in at number 8 in the country right now. So an 8 versus 9 matchup. Um, Both of these teams are leading the Big 12 race. We were just talking about it a little bit. The Big 12 race is very interesting this year. There's still a few teams that are still in the running, such as TCU and Houston and teams like that. So very interesting. Cincinnati as well. So the Big 12 race is heating up, and this is a very important game when it comes to not only the Big 12 championship but also the playoff. Both of these teams really want to win this game. Would look great on both of their resumes when it comes down to it, and remains to be seen where these teams are ranked tonight when the playoff rankings come out for the first time. So remains to be seen, but they'll probably be around that 8-9 range, and very important game, as I said. Lots of implications here. So without further ado, let me swing it over to Tom. Tom, what do you think about this Big 12 clash this Saturday?
Well, I like the intro. I agree. This is gonna be an important one for the Big 12 and the playoff picture in general. I think both teams still have a chance to make the playoffs. Both teams also have a chance to meet again in the Big 12 championship, depending on how things unfold. So yeah, BYU. To finish off their season, BYU plays TCU and then Cincinnati and UCF. That Cincinnati game to me is going to be a very important one, whether BYU wins or loses this week. Looking forward, that's going to be probably the second most important game of BYU's season. BYU is still technically undefeated. Well, not technically. BYU is still undefeated. One of the last four teams undefeated. Texas Tech only has one loss. So they got upset by Arizona State, but since then they've kind of bounced back and got things back on the right track. They had a couple layup games against Oklahoma State and Kansas State, so they're back on track now. Handled business in both of those games. BYU is also one of those teams that has consistently handled business throughout the year. They've had some close games. They barely beat Colorado. They barely beat Utah. They barely beat Arizona. That right? Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Let me double check. Yes. 24-21 against Colorado. 33-27 against Arizona in overtime, by the way, and then 24-21 against Utah. So BYU's had some testers, but in college football, like I said in the last video we were talking about, if you win in college football now, a win is a win. There's no such thing anymore as like, oh, you didn't beat this team by enough points to be considered for the national championship, which I do enjoy. I'm glad we got rid of that because especially nowadays with NIL and the way college football, the landscape is, a win is a win, no matter what, in my opinion. So BYU is at Texas Tech this week, which I do think is going to make a big impact because Texas Tech is rowdy. Texas Tech knows they have a good team, and that they will have no problem selling that stadium out and getting loud. It is an 11 a.m. game. Kind of wish this would be a night game. I'd love to see the Raiders in like a blackout under the lights or something like that. I think that'd be a fun game. Regardless, it's 11 a.m. It is what it is. Both teams have to play at 11 a.m. So fair and square for everybody. But honestly, I don't know who's going to win this game because BYU is one of those teams where it seems like every time you think they might not win this game. I don't think they're going to win this game. I don't think they're as good as they say they are. They come out and they show that they are. They've done this for years now, but to the extent of 8-0 in the Big 12, that is new. So it's going to be interesting. Also, Texas Tech. Texas Tech hasn't. This is kind of a new realm for Texas Tech a little bit. They're not used to being in the top of the conference. They're not used to being in the playoff talks, but they have a $28 million roster this year. So I think that changes things a little bit for Texas Tech. So pretty unbiased in this game. Not really a fan of either team personally, but I think this game is going to be a close game. I think it's going to be a good game. I kind of hope it to be a close game, but I can't really pick one team pulling away over the other. I think the rankings 8 and 9 suit both teams really well. BYU hasn't. BYU's biggest test so far has been Utah, and Utah has kind of fallen off a little bit. Um, so I think this game is a complete toss-up. I genuinely have no idea who's going to win. I think both teams are good. And like I said, both teams could still make the playoffs. Both teams could see each other in the Big 12 championship, especially if Texas Tech wins this week. And then after this, they both win out. They'll meet each other for sure in the Big 12 championship, both with one loss, which at that point, they kind of both deserve to be in my opinion. So I think it'll be interesting. It'll be a good test. I think this is going to be a preview of the Big 12 championship. But again, college football, the way things are going, last 3 weeks, teams are going to be fighting and clawing. Cincinnati still has a chance, so they're really going to be fighting and clawing. Now, but there's so many dominoes that have to fall perfectly in order for that to happen. But it could happen, especially, where we're at right now. The final couple games, all of them are going to be good fights. But with that being said, what do you think about this game, Say?
Well, let me start it off with my prediction for this game before I forget, because sometimes I forget to give my predictions at the end. Um, I think Texas Tech is going to win this game. I think it's going to be a shootout. It's going to be a very close game. Could come down to the wire, one possession type game. But I do think BYU is due for a loss, and I say that because you kind of alluded to it a little bit, but I have seen this story from BYU before. BYU has started off the season very well in the past. Like even last year, I think they started off 7-0, 8-0, something like that.
Yeah,
BYU has shown me this kind of pattern in the past. And last season they started off very well, and just when we thought BYU was going to be a serious contender, they started losing games and ended up missing the playoffs in total. So um, I'm very sketched about BYU. I love the record so far, but like I said, I've seen this before. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. So until I see BYU lock up a Big 12 championship spot, until I see a letter by their name that says they will be playing that weekend, I am going to hold off on putting my eggs in the BYU basket. So, especially now that they're going on the road to a team that is in the same boat as them. And to piggyback off what you were saying, yes, I do believe the Red Raiders need this game even more than the Cougars, because the Red Raiders already have a loss, as you talked about, against Arizona State. So um, two losses is going to put Texas Tech behind when it comes to the race, because you still have Cincinnati and Houston there just lurking around. So you got to keep winning games. And this one right here, um, Big 12 championship preview for sure. These two teams, I think, are the best two teams in the Big 12. I'm ashamed that they're playing right now and could mess it up for that potential scenario, but um, it's cool that we get to see it played on the field, for sure. So give me the Red Raiders at home. I just think they're going to be even more motivated to come out with the win here. BYU, I've seen them falter in the past. This is kind of what they do. They're kind of a Miami type team. They start off well. They give everybody hope. Texas A&M as well. They give everybody hope, and then at the end, they do what they do, and they just let it get away from them. And then it's like, oh, same old A&M. Oh, same old Miami. Oh, same old BYU. So we'll see. We will see. I'm very excited for this game. I'm going to be tuned in. I'm going to be watching it for sure. But I'm not going to put my eggs in either of these baskets here, because anything can happen, and there's too much going on in the Big 12 race for me to make any for sure picks, like you said. So give me the Red Raiders. I think it's going to be a very good game. I can't wait to see BYU's quarterback, Bachmeyer. He's just a dog. And Texas Tech, they have two good quarterbacks. So it doesn't matter which one of them plays. They're going to be balling out. And the $28 million roster, as you alluded to. Yeah, I want to talk about that a little bit, because Texas Tech kind of took the SMU route this year. They were like, oh, we saw what SMU did last season. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and throw money at our program and until it sticks. And it looks like it's sticking this year. We're talking about Texas Tech for the first time since the Michael Crabtree days back in the early 2000s and stuff like that. So shout out to the Red Raiders down there in Lubbock, and can't wait for this game right here. Big 12 clash this Saturday.
Yes, sir.